It's going to be a raucous.
This is going to be an absolute massive mess.
It's gonna be absolutely amazing.
What if it's
This
anything
can be-
like Martin Delby's car? It's fucked.
Yeah. This can be our pilot episode.
Right, and if people don't like what they hear, we'll continue to make them.
Yes.
What do you mean? My fucking car still boogies, you motherfucker.
My car would boogie if it didn't run on 3 cylinders. Max knows.
see-
He was in the passenger seat.
You see one of my neighbours stood on his like fucking roof looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, fucking donuts rings, lad.
You're looking out from the Mexican whom can't tell.
Oh, honestly.
Oh,
I've got
Adam
a
LZ
video
will
like
get
that.
done again.
Adam LZ. We're getting done again. Good. Right.
I'm gonna find this video.
Right. I've been recording for 2 minutes already. Are we going to
I've been
start?
recording for 5 minutes.
Well, I'm
So-
not even recording, but I don't think I need to now.
You don't need to record now. Right.
I
We
might
ready?
I'll
do,
just
I'm
do
gonna
it
find a
for
way
the
to
fuck of
open the file.
Right.
I'm
I'm
gonna-
gonna
Download some software in a bit.
count us down from 10 or 5 or whatever. It doesn't matter. Everybody shut up on one. I will introduce the podcast. And then we'll just...
Shut up.
Everybody shut up.
Wait, what is
We
what is
gotta clap.
who are we? What does consisting of in parentheses indicate?
Consisting... And then there's like the list of below with the little dashes to say
Oh, okay.
consisting of your name, your country, what you drive.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, it's all kind of separated terribly. Right. 5, 4, 3, 2,
6.
fuck off.
Clap.
Go again.
Outtake.
This isn't even going to go in outtakes. I'm just going to put this in the stream. It's just going to be a mess. Right. Good morning and welcome to the Shitposters podcast. It's not even morning in New Zealand, is it? Or wherever you guys are. Actually, it might be morning now.
Sasha.
No,
No, I don't know what time it is.
it's 8:30 at night in Australia.
Yeah, but nobody cares.
Australia.
So, right. Welcome to the Shitposters podcast. Yeah, we're all idiots. I am Tom from the Little SR that might. No, good. I fucked my own page name up.
You shit cow.
Guys, can't
Fuck that
mess
up
this
already.
up. Messes up.
Right,
Stage fright.
take 3.
That was content.
That was quality.
Fucking man.
I
Hello.
just changed profile.
G'day everyone, we're here with the Shitposters podcast. I'm joined here with SR20 Det Matt. Fuck.
That's what's funny, Matt Book.
It's our 20 Mac book.
G'day everyone, we're here with the Shitposters podcast. I'm joined here with SR20 Det Max.
Yo.
The little SR that could.
Yo, my dudes.
Toyota Chase posting.
Hey guys, it's me, your boy.
There's a cop.
and GTE posting.
Hi.
Yep.
What an intro. That works.
Yeah, that's better than none. Okay, cool. Yeah, welcome to the Shitposters podcast. Today is more of an introduction than anything. We're going to talk about some basic shit. I'm sure you can see it on the screen anyway. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on any of the other platforms that we don't know what they are, then you're not watching, you're
We're
listening.
still yet to work it all out.
Oh yeah, completely. If you like what you hear today, please leave a comment, send me a nude, whatever. I'm sure we'll pick it up.
Send me a bag.
So first things first, some introductions. Who everybody is. Over to we'll go for SR20 Det from Australia
Max, you're
today. Oh no.
Oh,
I
okay.
was going for
Oh,
Sam.
okay. I'm up first. Okay. G'day. I'm Sam. I'm one of the second admin to SR20 Det, also known as Zenki Min, because I own a Nissan Silvia S14 Zenki, the best of them all. Yeah, you heard me right. The best one.
He is correct.
I don't know if you could probably tell, but I am from the mighty Australia, and it's a great country, but
Can.
being in lockdown is not fun.
I mean,
Oh, that's right. Your state's in lockdown. I'm not.
Yeah, some shit like that. So I've been helping Max run SR20 debt because I messaged him about a sticker, and he turned around and said, "Hey, you want to post some shit for me?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'll be down." So I joined SR20 debt, and one of my memes went fucking crazy.
it's on like 10,000 shares now.
Yeah, and it's been seen by like almost 1 million people.
Yeah.
It's fucking mental.
Oh my god.
I remember my first reach.
Oh, shade.
Explain, please. I need to hear this.
Well, I'm the daddy.
I mean, you're not though. I'm pretty sure.
Out of this little group, I'm leading. In
That's
like
because Americans can't have cases, so they just get the clout.
they just get
Probably.
second best drift cars.
The shit.
Right, Max, do you want to introduce yourself now, please?
Yeah, I'm Max. I made the page because I blew up an SR. And I currently own a PS13, which I imported, and then I got a S14, which got given for free, and a Mazda because I'm a hairdresser. That's it.
Can you give me your cell, please?
You can
My
see
God.
right down the sill. It's fucked.
Oh,
My god. Okay. Callum, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Oh God. Right. So my name's Callum. I'm from the UK. I am the creator of Toyota Chase Posting.
Toyota
Name-
Chase Daddy.
Yeah, man. I've got a '98 Toyota Chaser. It was an ex-missile car in Japan. I
know.
imported it about 2 years ago. Yeah.
We both got robbed.
I just yeah, it's just ropey as fuck, but I still send it. It's not bad. It's good fun.
Just twisted.
Just fucking send it, mate.
I just got jealous of everyone else making pages about their cars, so I thought, oh yeah, I've got a Chaser. I've got something cool. I'll shitpost about that, and finally got some titties after 8,000 likes.
Oh,
And
oh.
You're just behind
Taken.
the times and jealous of the little SR because we get some.
yeah, but I've
all the
overtaken you
titties.
massively.
You've overtaken us, but we've still got more titties. So
I got 2 million reach.
Ooh.
I've got about 6.
We don't
Six people.
have S14 tick posting in here. He had
Oh,
my
shit,
exes.
Yeah, he's the daddy. We're gonna take him down.
Oh,
Jesus.
alrighty, Tom,
Right.
you're up.
Hey, I'm Tom from the Little SR That Could. I got it right this time. Didn't call myself the Little SR That Might again. I'm from the UK. I drive an S14 Zenki. Shout out to Sam. Correct vehicles.
Hey.
Yeah, I run the Little SR That Could.
How cool are you?
I was actually the second. Oh, fuck off. I was actually the second admin ever for that page. But the OG admin, Adam, pretty much forgets the page exists. So it's now me and a guy called Liam that run it. We also forget the page exists. Please follow us to remind us to do more things. Yeah, that's it.
That reminds me, I have a second admin in Australia called
Travis.
Travis. Yeah, shout out
Oh,
to
Travis.
drives a Toyota Chaser TRD edition. Big up my boy.
Also known as Softman.
He was he was the only person brave enough to message the page asking to be an admin. So I thought, hey, fuck it, why not? And you know what? His shit blows up all the time.
Like
Fuck
an SR.
yeah.
He's done loads for the page.
I guarantee you it doesn't. I mean, we've all got SRs. Our shit blows up all the time. You guys have got reliable Toyotas. So, and the last one, of course, Kyle. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm the owner of GTE Posting. I don't own a Toyota, unfortunately. I actually own a 1994 Ford Festiva.
Wow.
It's
What a beast.
F in
yeah,
chat.
no, it's so bad.
Ugh.
I will actually put a photo of it up later. But it's got like 60 horsepower and is a 3-speed auto. It's absolutely atrocious. I was donated it, so I can't complain. But I do drive it so that I can save up to afford any inline 6 turbocharged Toyota.
Just don't get an IS2.
No, not that one. No, I think I'll pass on that.
Yeah, I own one. They're so shit.
I made the page. I was actually an ex DET posting admin because my friend Dakota and I we basically just stand DET posting. We like commented and liked everything, commented on everything and liked him, and it was really good. And at one point, the owner was just like asking for new admins, and I just messaged him and went, "Yo, we stand the page. Give my mate and I admin." So he did, and that was actually a lot of fun until he just went insane and added like 15 admins to the page, and then removed all of the original admins, and then eventually just deleted the page and made a whole new one.
Wow.
Yeah, I cannot tell you what goes on inside the head of the DET posting page owner, but anyway, he before he deleted the page, we made GTE posting, because when DET posting got unpublished and they made a second page, one of the admins made a post that said, "Why is there not a GTE posting?" And I actually said, "Wow, that's a great idea. I think I'm going to do that." So I went ahead and did it. And here we are. So, yeah.
Hey, Max, take notes, because you need to learn some shit from this guy.
Remove you all as admin.
I was about to say, add 27 admins, does SR20 DAT, close the page, and then have everyone else do their own thing. Not a solid plan.
I will release a Zenki page. Don't tempt me.
Oh, mate, admin me.
You know what I want to? You know what I want right now is there's 2 pages. There's Toyota Mark II posting and Toyota Cresta posting, and they literally only started their pages because of my page, and then they won't run their page. So I want to take over. Like give me your page.
I find it funny because there's so many, like, it's only a new thing that shitposting pages have popped up, and you see the OG ones like bloody S14 tick post them, like I see them as the OG pages. You see them, there's some other pages that have grown off of them, like off of the idea, and we're like going at it, but then you see a heap of smaller pages that are trying and it's just spreading. So many people are trying to make pages.
I'm waiting for a lawsuit from Nissan.
What?
Max,
Yeah, it's like
to
a
get
boom.
sued.
There's like a boom of new pages. Like when I remember when DET posting got made, that was like back when the only real pages were like CP, and I guess S14 tick posting was a thing at that point.
Yeah, tick posting was early.
When DET got made, it was like, whoa, look, new small page. Yeah, let's help get it up and going, because I liked that page when it was at like 20 likes or something. It was like brand new. And then it evolved into, I can't remember what it was at before it got deleted, but yeah. And since then, even since I made GTE in like November last year, so that was pretty late. Even now, there's still pages that have only been made since the start of this year, and some of them are taking off really well, and other ones just are stuck at like sub 200 likes.
Yeah, I feel like ReachGate is a real thing at the moment. Like, if you've already got reach, your reach will continue to grow. If you've got no reach, what I seem to find as well is like we forget the page exists for like a month, post a post, and all of a sudden we're at like 400 likes on it, and like instantly. And then there are other times where we post consistently for 3 days and get like 7 likes.
Yeah, that's me at the moment. I'm really struggling.
Yeah, what I see, like what I've noticed is with the posts that I've done, the ones that have hit big, is because the key to it is making like posts that people can relate to. It's like the post I made about the homie leaving the driveway doing skids. Everyone was like, "Fuck yeah!" Tag someone, "Hey, this is you," or "Hey, this is you," and so many people like liked it and shared it. Or the ones like, "Hey, are you okay?" And it's like tagged, or the missus like, "Yeah, this is you." It's like it's relatable, so then they will share it.
That
Yeah,
post got
You need to make relatable content. That's the key.
It's just the shit
Yes.
they want to eat. Like, just feed them that shit.
Mm.
People eat that up.
Oh yeah.
I
And I
love tagging their mates in dumb memes.
The other part of it though is this is shit posting. Like if we're making relevant posts, is it even shit posting anymore? I always feel
Yeah,
like if I'm
true.
making sensible posts and being like tag a mate who does a skid, I've become Car Throttle and I don't want to be Car Throttle.
You know what? Max reminds me of the guy from Car Throttle. Every time I see a photo of Max, I just think of Car Throttle.
I'm gonna have to edit a photo of them in here, like
Yes.
side by side on the
Yeah.
YouTube. If you're not watching on the YouTube, fuck you.
Yeah, like below if you think Max looks like Alex from Car Throttle.
He does, and they're both UK.
That's so
Right.
good.
I'm
I've met Alex a fair few times, and like he's all right, but my God, on video he's just it's so painful. But yeah, I mean, I suppose this comes
He's like-
back to yeah.
Porn acting.
Oh my, yeah, so over enthusiastic. It's like, oh my God, I found a Bentley for $4,000 on the internet. You're like, great, good for you,
Oh,
mate.
you need a lifeguard. Wait, this is a bathtub.
Step bro, please help me.
You can
What
find
are
us
you doing,
on
Step Bro?
Silver Ghost.
What
for
are
that.
you doing, Step Bro?
Why is there a dick in me?
True.
No, don't do it.
You're
I'm
acting.
good.
You cunts are fun.
This is so good.
We're getting banned.
Oh yeah, 100%. This YouTube channel is never going to be monetizable.
Hey, Spotify is where it's at. I'll tell you that.
Spotify, what
Hey,
else?
that rhymes too.
SoundCloud. We should be some SoundCloud rappers. That'd be a new.
Oh,
Oh
fuck
my
yeah.
God. We need to meet up and do a mixtape.
The only
I-
person
Oh,
Dolby.
a mixtape.
you know, one day we've all got to meet up and then have a podcast, or just meet up and have heaps of shenanigans.
I mean,
That would
don't,
be
that
We-
sounds
we
a bit weird.
We discussed
That'd be-
this. I can't remember who it was in the group chat that was like, "I've got a big shed," and we were like, "We're gonna come down and do mangs, hangs, and nangs." And
Oh, fuck yeah.
Has anyone got a big kitchen?
me.
sort of.
Meet me and Dolby in there.
No. Fucking hell. Right. So I suppose we should probably come back to the order of play. Why are we doing the podcast? I'm pretty sure we've just explained that anyway. Yeah, it's funny. First of all,
It was your idea.
It was
Oh,
my
you're
idea.
not supposed
Yeah.
to say
Because you're all in
supposed to
quarantine.
say that.
Everyone
Yeah.
but me
Hang on.
is in
Me
quarantine.
and Dolby are still at work.
Yeah,
I'm on call right now.
Oh, real?
yeah, I'm still on site every day, doing some non-essential work.
Okay.
Hey, I'm essential
What,
too.
you're still allowed
I'm
to do
just
that
like
in the UK?
9 o'clock at night for
Yeah.
me.
Damn. Did not
Yeah.
be knowing that.
Well, man like Boris has got corona.
Man like
yeah, I
Boris.
saw that on the news.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah.
Elbow touchings.
Oh,
I reckon we should start off with introducing everyone. I reckon it's a good idea if we talk about how we got into cars.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good. Like we've gone immediately really off track anyway, so we may as well just wing it.
The cliche. I love Initial D.
Oh, is that really why you got
Hey,
into
no,
cars?
It's
I will
not.
slap you with a band.
It did have a partial influence.
Okay.
Callum, you're up. Explain your shit.
Oh, right, okay. So probably I'll just start off with, well, from a young age, I used to play with Hot Wheels cars. Like
Oh.
every weekend, my dad used to buy me a Hot Wheels car.
Is
I
that
used
to make up for
race
him
around
not
the
being
carpet.
there?
No, motherfucker. I had the, the traditional like carpet in your, the town carpet.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
The
yeah.
map that every car person knows.
Yeah,
There's a photo on the YouTube video.
The OG rug. So I had that in my bedroom. So I used to just race my Hot Wheels cars around that. When my dad introduced me to video games, we used to play Mario Kart all the time, and then sort of like gravitated into playing like the old school Gran Turismo, Ridge Racer. Started playing like Project Gotham Racing that loads of people won't even like realize existed. There's like Sega Rally. So as like I was playing these video games growing up, I just got more and more into cars and like circuit racing. For a long time, like I aspired to be a racing driver, and it just wasn't like an achievable career because
You weren't good enough.
we're poor. So I just then, when I got into Forza, started drifting on Forza. So that sort of spurred me on to like get into cars, and like, I've always loved modified cars. Everything from like the Need for Speed 2 days, Riders on the Storm.
Oh, mate,
Oh,
that's a tune.
Oh,
Yeah.
the memories,
Top hat,
Riders
106.
on the Storm. Hey.
bro.
So yeah,
Effing
it's
chat.
like I would say that video games and playing with Hot Wheels cars, that's like been my biggest influence. Also, used to get taken to Alton Park most weekends to watch touring cars, the British GT. Used to go to all the motor shows in London, and I just used to be in awe. Like my dad's not even that into cars, but I think he just did it for me, which is pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
Fair play.
So yeah,
That's pretty good.
that's pretty much it for me, really.
I mean, I'd rather be
Uh,
good at it. Cheaper.
Do you think you would ever get one of those car mats again?
Oh, I want the tracksuit with the car mat on it.
The
Oh,
tracksuit.
bro.
That's
That would
the
be
cost.
sick.
There's a
Kinda
place that sells them.
fresh.
Wait, for real?
That is the drip that I want. I'm gonna find it now and I'll
Hold
drop
on.
it.
What's
drop
this?
it in
What's
the
this
chat
page
below.
called? I need to do some research.
I'm gonna find it.
Oh.
I'm putting
What's it?
notes in chat, by the way. So, like, if you want a picture of anything thrown up on the YouTube video, I've literally put in time tags from my video so that I know exactly where to put them in.
Sick.
Are we putting photos of your S40?
Hey, I found it. It's $99.
Wait.
Oh, mate. Australian
Your dollars or my dollars?
Oh, you can get T-shirts in US dollars.
Oh,
Right, I'm
well,
dropping-
that's expensive.
Dropping the link into.
Since the whole predicament that's going on right now happened, the Australian dollar has just dropped.
Oh,
So now
Oh,
it's
no,
like
our country's
50
worthless
cents
at this
per
point.
US dollar.
Everything's dropped. Like, you could pick up forged internals for like 600 quid. Shit's ridiculous.
Squid. I don't have 600 squids.
Quid.
Most people don't.
Mm.
Tom,
Yes.
explain yourself.
I've got Oreos in my mouth. Fuck off. Hang on. Okay. Very similar to Callum, actually. When I was much younger, basically, my mum's always been into cars, but in a different way. She's been into like shiny cars. So my mum's always had like a Mercedes. It's not been a new Mercedes. It's been like an old. So the first car I ever drove, I was 7 years old, and my mum had a Mercedes SL 500 convertible from like the late 80s that was her daily driver. I still can't understand why she had it because it was a terrible daily. But like it was auto, big 5-litre Merc, and just driving that up and down the driveway and like learning how to get a feel for cars. My mum knew I was into cars anyway at that point, and my uncle is really into cars. Like he was into modifying stuff when he was younger and in college and whatever. Sorry?
Did he touch you?
He did not, thankfully. So, yeah, my uncle's always been into cars and had like RC cars and stuff.
Oh, God.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, but this is a photo I found on the on the page. I'm fucking dying. There's a photo on the page that
Oh
sells the
God.
tracksuits.
Oh my god, that is Max.
Right,
The fucking drip, bro.
we totally interrupted Tom, so let's get back to it.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Hang on. Right, there we go. Yeah, so my uncle was into cars and had like remote control cars and stuff, so I had to play with them when I was younger. He was never into RC drifting. He was just about having like fast cars because RC drifting at that time it wasn't not a thing, but it was less known. So drifting came like way, way, way later. Like my first car, my mum was like, "We're gonna make sure you get something nice," and I wound up buying a classic Mini. I saved all summer when I left school, and I bought myself a green classic Mini. I'm gonna have to put a photo in of it now. Bloody hell. Yeah, bought myself a classic Mini, and it immediately blew up, and then blew up again, and then it blew up again. Yeah, so that was my first introduction to working on cars, really. And I thought, well, I like cars. I like working on cars a bit. I don't really know what I'm doing. So I went to college and I did engineering the first year, and then did motorsport. So I learned how to set up a car, how to repair a car, how to actually race a car, and all of the stuff that goes with it, being pit crew and
How to bodge a car.
how to bodge a car. I mean, I've been doing that for years. Oh yeah, you were with me at Rockingham the other day. I'll explain that in a minute. But anyway, yeah, sort of learned how to make a car work in a racing situation, which gave me mechanical knowledge, and that was great. And then while I was in college, I met a guy who's now, I consider him my best friend, Alex, who had at the time a purple MX-5. I was driving a Rover 216S. I'm gonna have to put in all the photos of those cars. Yeah, I was driving a Rover 216S, the old shape, not R8 chassis. Anyway, so met him through that and seeing my mate Mikey's 86. He'd just bought an AE86, which was really cool. And that's kind of what got me into drifting. 2 weeks after I met him with that MX-5, he sold the MX-5 and bought an S14 Zenki in green, which is the most rotten S14 I've ever seen in my life.
Hey,
Not as bad
what
as
did you
Max
say about
is.
green S14s?
Oh no, this wasn't emerald green. This is
Okay.
It's Honda lime green metallic. The color code is GY27M. It's a Honda Jazz color. It is some baller shit. Anyway, so that's the first car I ever went sideways in. And when I say went sideways, he did like a junction skid to turn around because he went the wrong way. And I was like, "This is drifting. This is so cool." And then I started working at a place called Halfords, which if you're from the UK, you know what Halfords is. If you're not from the UK, it's like terrible. It's like an auto parts store, but they don't really sell any auto parts.
It's where fake car guys go to get girls to fit their light bulbs and check their tire pressures.
Yeah, it's like it's like a hobby kind of car store. When I say hobby, I mean like changing light bulbs and batteries, not like fitting sick rims to your whip.
Filter spinners.
BSKS, bro.
But yeah, it's like a shit car store. And I met a guy called Jamie, and Jamie was into UK drifting, is what I'd call it. He had a BMW E36 with a hydro made out of a spanner from Halfords that had been cut off. And like I remember following him out of work. At this time I had a Polo that was slammed, and I remember following out of work, and there's like 4 roundabouts across Hedge End, which is where the Halfords was, and he mangied all the dual carriageway, skidded the roundabout, dual carriageway mangies, skidded the roundabout, dual carriageway mangies. And it was really cool, but like it was a proper UK introduction to drifting. Like the first thing I saw was shitloads of hydro in an E36, and him just like mangying a dually. And I was there at the time I thought it was the coolest thing ever, because I'd never really seen drifting other than like Ken Block doing Gymkhana. And then I started to get more into drifting and meet more people through more cars, and I never got into Initial D. I didn't see Initial D until like 6 months ago.
What?
And I've watched it all the way through now. It's good. Like, don't get me wrong, but I never was. It never got me into cars. It never got me interested.
I've never watched Initial D.
You should.
My god!
really?
What?
I've only seen the live action version.
The live action
no
version is
way.
garbage.
I've got the books.
Oh. I want to look at the anime, but I've only seen like the live action version.
Shit,
Well,
I've been to the arcade
that's
machine,
rough.
like in the Trafford Centre, big shopping mall. They
Crispy Kreme
used to
across the
have,
road.
yeah, they used to have an initially arcade there.
Wow. Oh, continue,
Yeah,
Tom.
Yeah, so Initial D was like a far from mind thing. I kind of stumbled upon Initial D because I was already into Japanese drifting by that point. And my first drift car personally was a white Volvo 340. It
Banger.
was an absolute beast. Yeah, it was white. It had a giant Midnight Potato sticker in the rear window. I'll put up a photo of it if I can. Midnight Potato is like I want to say long-standing. 3 years is not long. For 3 years, me and Alex have been running a thing called Midnight Potato, which is just we made stickers for a while. We made YouTube videos for a while. We keep forgetting it exists. We don't do anything with it. But this Volvo was like my first drift car. You can't see the air quotation marks that I'm doing. And it had like 40 horsepower. It would only skid in the wet. It had an open diff when I bought it. And it was, but it was at a learning point. I bought the cheapest rear-wheel drive car I could find, which at that time was a £400 Volvo. And so I went out and I drove it. Callum, what are you doing? Why does it sound like you're sawing wood?
Oh, sorry, I was looking for my Initial D magazines.
Racking up
Anyway, yeah, so I had this Volvo and it kind of got me into drifting. And then I went through various MX-5s, other Volvos, turbo Volvos. I was a real Volvo guy for a while, and treated it as really sort of grassroots drifting. Like the handbrakes never worked. It was all throttle, all attack, clutch kicks, left foot braking, like trying to learn.
Are you Swedish?
No, but it was a really like grassroots way to learn because there was no input from anyone else, and all I was doing was going, I've seen drifting, I don't know anything about drifting. How can I drift? And I spent a while sort of just throwing Volvos around and trying not to kill myself. Somehow I'm still alive. But yeah, that was just me sort of getting into drifting. And then I had an IS200 that I bought from work. It was a trade-in. I paid £150 for it. It had 6 months. Yeah, it had 6 months MOT. It was like mint. It was really tidy. So I bought some Ching Chong Springy boys. Ruined
Max
the ride
pleasure
for me.
rods.
Oh, they were max speeding rods as well. And then stuck some VSKFs on it.
Boy,
Yeah, boy.
favorite wheels.
Yeah, I stuck some VSKFs on it, and then that was it. I blew all the front ball joints to pieces. I fucked both the front wheel bearings, and like completely annihilated this thing because it was on the cheapest suspension and it was knocking its tits off because everything was hitting everything. It was pretty awful. It was open diff as well, but it was like my first non-MX-5 that I was drifting, and just throwing it around and being like, oh, this has got loads of power, because it felt like it had loads of power compared to my 40 horsepower Volvo. I know, it's weird. But anyway, and then I went and I got a loan out for £6,000 and was like, right, I'm going to buy a Nissan Laurel. And there was a Laurel that I'd been lusting after for a couple of years, and I'd seen in like a Monkey London video, and I was like, yes, I'm going to buy this car. It came up for sale for £4,000. I was going to buy the car. I was going to import myself a set of SSR Mark IIs, make it proper like old school styly. And I was like, yes, I've got £6,000 loan. And the guy just never responded. Like he responded for a couple of days, didn't respond. And I was like, shit, I've got £6,000 in my bank. I've got to buy a car now. I've got to do something with it. So I started looking locally, and my S14 came up, like 20 minutes from my house. It was £4,000, and I was like, oh, cool. And I was on my way to get it, and I got a text from the guy with the Laurel saying, yeah, if you want to come and get it, just let me know, and we'll sort it out. And I was like, on my way to pick up an S14 that I'd agreed to buy. So I bought an S14 instead of the Laurel. It was a C32 as well. It wasn't even a 33. It was like a 300 horsepower CA18 C32 Laurel. Super weird, super cool. I'll try and put a photo of it in the chat. I loved that car. I love that car, actually. If it ever comes up for sale, whoever owns it, HNZ, that's all I remember from the plate. I'm going to buy it off you. And yeah, that's kind of me and drifting. I bought the S14. It blew up a bunch. I've owned it like 2.5 years now, and all it's ever seen is abuse. I've serviced it once, which is the wrong amount of times for doing 6 drift days in one. And now it's broken again. Somehow that engine isn't knocking. Touch wood. Shit, there's no wood in this room. Yeah, there you go. Good enough. The last time I drove that car was with Mr. SR20 Det, Max, in the passenger seat, absolutely dooring someone in a Vauxhall Omega at Rockingham.
Which is an animal, whatever is in that car. That is ridiculous.
I don't know what it is, but it's a lot faster than my S14. And we come off the run. I was like, it sounds pretty loud in here. And we open the bonnet, and I've sheared every stud in the back of my turbo. My exhaust has just fucked off. It's touching the firewall, and everything's on fire. And we were like,
the thing is, though, it wasn't on fire at first.
Yeah, it wasn't. We opened the bonnet, everything was okay, and then there was some oxygen circulation. It was all like, oh, now I'm going to catch fire. I was like, oh no! So
that's pretty lit, bro.
Yeah, it was. So the fire extinguisher came out, repaired fire extinguisher, everything down, and then it's misfired since, and I can't find the misfire. So
Cylinder 1.
It is cylinder 1 misfire. It's definitely a wiring fault because we've switched all the coil packs around.
I'm not fixing it.
I will fix it. It's fine. But I've traced all the wiring back to ECU. I'm pretty sure I've just killed some copper somewhere, and I need to replace that bit of wiring, as opposed to just patch it back together with crimps like I normally do. So honestly, my engine bay is a mess of crimps. But yeah, that's me and how I got into cars and where I am today, and my poor decisions. Who would like to go next? It's like story time.
I'll go.
Go on, Sam.
I'll go. My turn for story time. All right, sit down, cross your legs, get ready for a wild trip.
Have you got any shrooms?
No, I actually don't. Well, my story started out a bit different because ever since it's similar to Callum's start. When I was in primary school, me and my best mate, who sadly isn't with us anymore due to an accident, but me and him in primary school used to have Hot Wheels, and we'd sit in the sand pit because we had a sand pit at school, and this was grade 4 in primary school or something.
How old's that?
And we would. Good question.
Were you
9?
10 maybe?
Yeah, 9 or 10.
That's year 5. 6.
Yeah. So we would sit down in the sand pit, and we would always make these tracks. So we'd drive our Hot Wheels around. We didn't really know what the cars were. We're like, hey, this one looks cool. We'll drive this one. He would always mang his car around however he would, and I would always be so OCD about my wheels always spinning in my car, and I would always make sure they would always fucking work. And every time the wheel stopped, I'd be like, stop, hold on, I gotta fix this, I fix it, make sure it's good, and start going again. And we did that all the way up to about it was year 5 or year 6, just before we left primary school. And then me and him got into 4-wheel drives. So, for yous uncultured swine who aren't from Australia and don't know what the good old 4B is, just basically a car that has all 4 wheels that spin and goes off-road into some mad bog holes.
Some bog holes. Over the UK, a bog hole is a toilet.
Is a what?
A toilet.
Oh, bog hole is a big mud hole out in the bush. So
the bush is a different thing over here as well.
I don't know how else to put it.
I know
we
what
would
it is.
always
Don't
watch-
worry.
We would always watch four-wheel drive action, and we'd always be like keen on four-wheel driving, and always like be into like going out bush and going camping and all that sort of thing. And for the longest time, I always wanted to get a GQ Patrol, a Nissan GQ Patrol, and I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that when I get one, yada 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 yada. And always like religiously watch four-wheel drive action. Then I got to high school, still did the same thing, and I used to be mad into country music, and I used to get bullied so hard for being into country music. Now I don't listen to country music. I get bullied because now everyone's into country music. Anyway, that's a side note. So then I started like watching more of Adam LZ's videos and like getting into that sort of style of cars, and I was like, oh yeah. And then I got up to 16, which in Australia is where you get your learner permit, which is where you're allowed to start learning how to drive, and like you have to have like a fully licensed driver in your car, and you can go out and drive. And so I was like, oh, I need a car. I need something to drive in. So I'm going through everything, and at that time I started like playing Forza with my mate Dylan, who again is one of the people in the accident and is no longer here with us today. But me and him used to play Forza so much, and I just drift. And ever since I bought my Xbox One, I bought a Logitech G920, and I always use that. So anytime someone gives me a controller to play Xbox, I'm like, how the fuck do I use this? I've only ever used a wheel. So then for like 2 years, I learned how to drift on my freaking Xbox, and I got really good at it. And
2 years.
So that was from, I think it was like whenever I got a job, I started that. So it was around 16, and I've had the wheel since I was 16. So that's what, like 2 years ago? Yeah, so I've been driving it ever since then. But I've just been learning how to use that and drive, and I really got into drifting and like watching Adam LZ. Then I was like, came up to me when I was like, I need to buy a car. I had $500. I had $700 saved up, and I'm like, all right, I need to buy a car. So I was looking through car sales, looking through everything, and I'm like, I need something rear-wheel drive and manual. And this BMW E36 popped up for $500 in Geelong. And I'm like, ooh. It was completely fucking trashed. It didn't start. It looked like it had been sitting there for 2 years. And I'm like, I'm going to go buy it. So me and my dad drove 3.5 hours to Geelong to go look at this car. I went out there. The moment I seen it, my eyes lit up. Even though this thing looked like a fucking piece of shit. And so I opened up the car, and I'm like, I'll take it. So I said to the guy, we'll be there next weekend to pick it up. And I went back, and we went up there the next weekend to go pick it up. Handed the guy $500. Got my dad and his mate's F-150 bloody flatbed truck thing. Picked it up, got it home, and I spent another $200 on a starter motor because that was all that was buggered. And I replaced the starter motor, and it fucking cranked over first turn, like not even joking. And I was over the fucking moon. And ever since I was 16 till about midway through last year, I'd been like working on getting it roadworthy and getting it like ready to be registered. I got it registered after about spending like $8,000 on it. Got it registered, got it like looking fucking mint. Then I got it registered, and I was still on my L's by then. I was like a couple months off getting my P's. I went out for a drive, and it snapped the timing belt on me, and it fucked the motor in it. And so that was buggered. Sat there in the backyard, and it's been sitting there for about 6 months now. So then I'm like, all right, well, I'm about to get my P's. I need another car.
Let me explain what P's are for the UK people.
Okay. So P plates is called your probationary plates. It's basically like you're one step before getting your full license. It means you can drive by yourself, but you still have restrictions on what you can drive and how many people you can take. And so I was like, all right, I need another car. And then someone tagged me in a post on Facebook saying that Vic Roads had changed their rules because before we couldn't drive turbo vehicles or V8 vehicles. And they changed their rules to saying it's all about power to weight now instead of like no turbos, no V8s. I was like, oh shit, yeah. I wanted an S13, but they were still illegal for P-platers even though because they were a bit too light. So the S14 popped up S14 popped up. I was really interested. It was up for $12,000, and I'm like, ooh, this thing looks fucking clean, Zenky. And so I went back and I thought about it for a little while, and I'm like, all right, I'll go look at the car. I messaged the guy, drove out there, had a look at the car. It was fucking amazing. So I was like, all right, I'll get back to you on that. Applied for a loan, managed to get my 12K loan. Went out and bought it off him. It was fucking amazing. It's bloody doses hard, goes hard. I fucking love it. I still own the car. Exactly. And that's what really got me into drifting. I haven't been to a drift day yet, but I've been up to the hill climb a couple of times. I got told off for drifting. And I've just been driving that thing ever since until I get the Beamer roadworthy, get the Beamer running again, so I can have that as my daily.
I wouldn't bother.
I won't.
I need a daily, and the Beamer is the closest thing to a daily I have because the S14 is a bit how you going.
So this is something that we do need to talk about. E36s in Australia versus E36s in the UK.
E36s are fucking mint.
They're just
So-
the vermin of the automotive industry.
No one has good fitment. They're just shit.
They are fucking mint.
To be fair, there were some good ones at Rockingham with R33 wheels on.
Right. Let me just say this. I'm going to buy an E36, put a HM sports kit on it, put some spicy wheels on it, and I'm going to call it a baby chaser.
I mean, that is
Fuck
the
off.
UK.
Fuck off. Seriously. If you want a chaser, buy a chaser. Don't try and make your E36 look like one, because you're just ruining our cars.
And if you
Right?
want to fit
Not
one,
acceptable. Not
MLS.
acceptable. Oh, shit.
My E36 is stock as fuck. It's nowhere near looking like a chaser.
So this is the other half of the UK. So there are two kinds of E36s in the UK. There's the baby chasers, which are you buy a Huxley Motorsports kit, which is a cool kit, to be fair, sometimes
No
on some
disrespect to
cars.
Huxley.
No disrespect to Hux. Hux is a legend. Anyway,
Big up.
you buy a Huxley kit, you put it on your E36 saloon, and you say, I've got a baby chaser with your 6-cylinder homosexual mobile. Or you have you buy the cheapest E36 you can get your hands on, whether it be a compact, coupe, touring, whatever. And you quite literally, you put ching chong eBay coilovers on it, E46 front lower arms, you throw in, you put some standard Beamer wheels on whatever you can get a hand on. You also then throw on, what else do you put in? Oh yeah, literally any knuckles. An E92 track rods.
Wizards of Lock kit.
Yeah, Wizards of Lock, Zeph Slide, like the terrible. I mean, in that photo, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Okay, now I look at this.
I've just dropped a picture down in the comments of mine and my chaser when it first landed. So excuse the fitment. It's still shit now, but it's a bit better. And this is Will Crampton's old E36 saloon. Just a bit of a side-by-side comparison. But
Okay, not gonna lie, I see it now. I see the baby chaser thing.
it's the lights and the doors and that. It's still not acceptable.
Yeah, it's a UK thing, and people are like, "Oh, it's a chaser," and so you either build a baby chaser or you build a shit spec E36, which is like chuck a hydro in it, eBay coilovers, E46 lower arms, offset lollipop bushes, the Wizards of Lock or Zeph Slide.
purple rack.
And that's it. No, you don't wrap it. You just leave it in whatever, and you just bounce it off
Purple
stuff.
steering rack.
Oh yeah,
The quick steer rack.
Purple tag.
Yeah.
Purple
Yeah.
tag.
yeah. And you just bounce it off stuff, and like they are the UK missile car because I mean MX-5s are no longer as cheap as they were. E36s are no longer as cheap as they were, but E36s just go better, unfortunately.
Fuck yeah.
And that's the issue. Like they're so cheap over here. Like £1,000 or $2,000 will buy you like a reasonable condition one. Like
Oh.
$700 or £350 will pick you up an absolute shitter. And some
I paid like what £600 for my 323 convertible.
yeah, my 323 no, my 320i was £150 for a saloon. Like they are. I've been there. I've done it, and I don't like it because it's almost too easy. Like they just work, and that's not a bad thing if you're learning or you want to drive, which is fine. But you buy a car and you go, it just works. Why would I want to make it look cool? But that's part of drifting. Like making your car look cool and making it look cool sideways. It's not necessarily about being the lowest or the widest or the most aggressive, but like having a car that doesn't look like an E36 with mad forward rake is so much better than an E36. Literally
that's
anything
why
else. They're hated
I
over
chose
here.
to buy an IS200 over an E36 because it's still Japanese. It may be a gutless, heavy piece of shit, but I would choose an IS200 over an E36 any day
I'm hurt.
because it's a good to be fair, it's a good platform.
They are
If you
great platforms.
boost
Yeah.
it,
And they're a
or-
good-looking car.
Yeah, they are, and they're
Yeah,
reliable.
sorry.
Like I still haven't killed mine. I'll drop a photo in of when I first got it and
Get the reg plate up.
kidding. Yeah, the famous plate, Project Negro IS.
Oh,
You
yeah.
think we're kidding?
For my 21st birthday, my mum bought me a registration plate with Negro on it, and believe me, the cops love it.
Hey, I'm like 4 beers in and I need to go to the toilet, so I'm gonna be back in a sec.
Alright,
We
I'm
just
head
had.
out.
Oh, perfect timing. Lachlan's just joined us.
Hey,
Hello.
it's
Oh,
Toge
Toge,
Toge. Right, Mr. Toge Toge, can you please introduce yourself while Zenki Min goes and pisses?
Yeah, I'm back.
What do I have to say?
So there is, if you scroll up in the chat, there is like an instruction for the order of play, and it says about like what you actually need to put in. It's name, country, what you drive, what page you manage, and a shameless plug.
Well, name those who know would know me. Otherwise, you can find me on Facebook if you search hard enough. Country Australia, drive 370Z. I run Toge Toge, and I also help run Hot Boy and Street Spirit and a couple others like Toge bin posting and stuff like that. Shameless plug. Probably just check out the YouTube because I want to start putting stuff on there when I like turn the VY into a drift car and shit like that.
Fair play.
Going.
Well, so
Fuck, he did such a shorter intro than the rest of us.
oh my god, it was so short. But yeah, to give you a quick update, Mr. Toge Toge, we've just been talking about E36s in the UK versus Australia, and how they are
Right.
hateful machines over here, and how they are
I was
less
gonna say,
hateful.
do I actually get to do my introduction to cars, or do I just get skipped?
No, we're going to do yours in a minute. We've got
to it.
to do
We got
Max as well.
sidetracked.
I'll
So-
speak for 30 seconds.
So right, we're going to go for Kyle. Kyle, where did you come from with cars? What's your introduction to cars?
I'm back,
Oh fuck it, we're doing it now, are we? Oh, he's
Yeah.
back from the piss. Alright.
and I have another beer.
Hey,
I feel like this was a dumb question because we're all gonna have the same answer because it's all just like we were exposed to them at a young age. But I don't know.
what,
for
their
me, it was
uncles?
Oh,
Look,
You just like
you say that.
okay, but for me it was just
Yeah,
like
I'm
sitting in
pretty
the
sure,
car, like mum and I would just go out and do shopping and stuff. I'd go with mum and I'd just look out the window and see cars, obviously, because we're driving on the road. And
I'm just
that's quite
disappointed that I
literally where
bought
it
an
came from.
import,
There
not
was-
a muscle.
there was quite literally nothing else to do with it. It was just literally seeing them in motion. Because then Mum used to tell me that every time we walked through like car parks to get to the shops, I'd just be walking around like pointing out cars, like, what's this one? What's this one called? This one looks cool. And I would be like, I don't fucking know. Can we go and do the shopping? I want to go home. But like, I would just be, just amazed at these big metal machines. Mum also tells me that my first word was car, not mum or dad. So I don't know how true that is, but that's what I get told. But yeah, I think it was really just that. Everyone else like is super fortunate. Everyone else got exposed to it through video games really young. I didn't. I got fuck all when I was a kid on video games because I was the firstborn. And everyone else has got young, cool parents. I don't. My parents were ancient. My dad didn't have me until he was 40. Like there is a 40-year age gap between my dad and I. And I'm the firstborn. So I
My
didn't
mum
get
My mum
I
roasted
didn't
the
have,
fuck out of
like-
me for buying a BMW, and now is like, why did you buy an import when you could have bought a muscle? You know, when I was younger, I had a muscle car, and I'm like, yeah, well, if you want to give me like 50k for a muscle car these days, sure, but no, I'll buy an import.
Yeah.
All I know about
No,
my parents,
I
so all I know about my parents and them being into cars is I know my dad almost crashed off a cliff and hit a tree, and my mum had a boyfriend with an RX-3 back when she was in New Zealand. That's all I know about their life before cars. But yeah,
What about you? Who's speaking? Help! What about you? How did you get into cars?
Me? Well, I honestly don't even remember. There's photos of me asleep with like 2 toy cars in my hands before I even have memories. So I don't know. I guess I just always liked cars, but I have no idea.
Here's the thing: we all have the same answer. It's like it's just
but it's cool.
like it's a question where we all get stemmed from different areas, but it's always the same thing as like someone just gave us a fucking toy as a kid, or we looked out the window and was like, that big metal thing on wheels looks kind of rad. Like that was that was it.
Yeah, it was. I was younger. There was Hot Wheels. They looked cool on the road. Riders on the Storm, and that's
I
it.
still got my Hot Wheels cars.
No.
Yeah, you guys were saying you all got experience, like you guys all got exposed to it through like video games. I didn't get any of that because I didn't have older siblings who had like PlayStation 2s or anything. When I was a kid, I kept asking for one and I never got one. So the first exposure I got to cars through video games was my cousins had PlayStation portables, and one of them had Midnight Club 3 on the PlayStation Portable, and every single time I went to my cousin's house, I played that, and I was fused to it, absolutely adored it. And I came home one day and went, I need this game. I want to play this. I was probably like 5 or 6 or something, and I was like, I need to play this. This game's sick. I don't want to only play it when I go to my cousin's house. Of course, me not realizing none of the Midnight Club games are on PC, which is the only thing my dad had. He just had his work computer. He got me Midnight Club 2, which is the only one on PC. And I basically I was fused to that my whole primary school life. Like I rebought that game when I got a computer when I was in high school in like 2015. I've had it for like 4 years now. I've probably put, according to Steam, I've put over 300 hours into that nearly 20-year-old game. I just cannot get enough of it.
Can we just rewind a little bit? I don't think I've ever heard anyone call it a PlayStation Portable. It's always been a PSP.
Oh, no, I've heard that.
It's...
Oh, man, PSPs.
It's rare, but...
PlayStation had like they were the platform for games. I still forget that the original Midnight Club was a launch title for the PlayStation 2, and like all the Gran Turismos and everything.
Shit, you must be old as shit.
I wish. I still haven't played the original. I want to. I'm dying to play it, but like they had like all the Gran Turismos and all that old shit, and I never got to experience that because I got a Xbox 360 and I was already too late to Forza 4 before like everyone had moved on really to Horizon. So I basically got started off on Horizon.
I just remembered I was in a drift team on Forza Motorsport 2 on the original Xbox. I'm gonna have to try and find this on the 360.
Just a quick question that just reminded me. Does everyone like here remember back in Forza Motorsport 4 how like everyone and their dog had a drift team, and like there was always this 14-year-old kid trying to start a drift team, and they had to have like the drift team name in their gamer tag?
See, I was never into... I never played Forza Motorsport 4. Like, I had 3, and I played 3 religiously. I never bought 4, because
I remember... played a lot of 3, actually.
Yeah, when I was, like, that age, my uncle was, like, the one that was like, this is the video game you should buy, and he got 4, and he was like, it's the same as 3. And they're a very similar game, to be fair. Now I've played both, and it's not worth buying, like, 3 or 4. You buy one or the other, you don't buy both. But
I just started in Horizon 2. That's where I started.
I'm like one of the
OGs.
I'm like one of the OG drifting from like Team Blackjack.
no.
They used to have a Fujimi Kaido.
I was waiting. I was waiting to see how long it took until someone mentioned Team Blackjack.
Because I used to play on Forza Motorsport 2, and we all used to drive Falcon Mustangs. Yeah, that's how long ago. Well, who was it? In Formula Drift, was it Matt Field back in the day? I can't remember who was like the Falcon. I think it might have been actually Vaughan Gittin Jr.
Yeah, everyone getting
Falcon.
Mad.
Wild.
See,
Yeah.
I wasn't into drifting when I was into Forza. Like, it came later. I was into grip driving on those games. And,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
very
I
I
nice.
literally
got
bought
into
my
drifting.
I literally bought my Logitech G920 because I bought my Xbox with and it came with Forza. It's literally the only reason.
so
If anyone wants to
Yeah.
race me on Forza Motorsport 7, my gamer tag is Dalbito. I will fuck you all up. I am one fast motherfucker. I've got dirty Nürburgring times.
better idea.
I will drift your ass.
Better idea than all of that.
We need to
I'm-
do a race and stream it.
yeah, we do. That's exactly what I was about to say. On the shelf in the room I'm in, I can literally see Forza Motorsport 4. Does anybody else want to do some old school lobbies?
Yes.
Man, if I still have my Xbox. Wait, I have an Xbox One. They're backwards compatible, right?
I'm pretty sure Motorsport 4 is. I've got a 360 and a 1 in this room, so
I'm just waiting for Delby for
Yeah, I
his
think 4 is. Now you
Oh,
guys are
you
talking
just
about
combine
how you
it?
got into
Sure.
like drifting in the game, but I never really did drifting. I never really got into drifting in video games or otherwise. I still haven't really opened up to that style of. Yes, I will buy a car and I will now proceed to put expensive rims and body kit on it. Like, it looks great, don't get me wrong. I see some really nice builds that people do and things like that. But I don't know if I'd ever want to do that myself. I'm not edgy enough to take the practicality out of my car for the sake of looks. Like, it doesn't appeal to me. I'd rather, that's probably why I like Lachlan's 370Z so much, is because it's just the car. It's just a nice car by itself. I would just get
Man, you're gonna hate it in like a
something
month or
like
two.
that.
You're gonna really hate it.
Yeah.
in like a month.
Ooh, what's going on there?
The 3000 light car that I'm getting for the page it's already it has non-stock rims, and I'm already I might have to go and buy some OEM alloys for it because these big boppers on it look kind of cringe.
Get some rays.
Look,
I just don't. I don't know. It's never really been a big thing for me. But
That being
same with
said-
drifting is.
oh, sorry, you keep going. I'll add on later.
I was just gonna say the as the same with drifting is that I still think drifting is cool. I think going and doing it on tracks would be a really great thing to do. And it's obviously hitting the toe gate pretty rad, but at the same time, there's part of me that's just I'd rather just go fast around a track. It's probably because that's most of the video games I play are the same sort of thing. It's just, okay, go fast, get quick lap time, win at life. Rather
Go
than
fast,
do
eat
big
grass,
skid.
smoke ass.
Yeah, that's the one.
I don't think that's how it's meant to be, but okay.
So, going on from your point there, I get what you're saying about having cars that look really dumb and completely you can't use them whatsoever. I kind of agree with that being stupid. But if someone has a car that's on the ground on big fuck off JDM chromies and they're sending it at 80 k's an hour sideways into a hairpin, I can kind of fuck with that. So.
I think the hot boy thing is a different kind of thing. There's very different styles of drifting. There's hot boy drifting, which is what I am/was into, and my car used to be utterly stupidly low, and I'll try and find a photo of it somewhere maybe if I can be bothered, which I can't. And then you've got Japanese style drifting, which is all function. It's I've got
No,
a Bisu Fitman. A Bisu Fitman. Monster trucks.
Wait,
JZX.
say that again.
Nowadays,
Say it again.
probably.
What'd you say, Callum?
A Bisu Fitman.
Ebisu.
It's
Ebisu.
Ebbs.
I
he's-
call him laugh.
He's from Manchester. He's
Ebisu.
basically disabled, so it's fine.
I
If you wanna
suppose
go
you can't
into-
really fault someone on the looks of their car if they're actually putting the driving into practice. Like, if you're fucking thrashing your car around on the downhill, then you can't really turn around and go, yeah, that wasn't cool because your car's clapped. You have to be like,
yeah, no,
oh,
like,
this cunt
any
nearly
car-
binned himself. Like, you know,
Any
he's
car
gone
whatsoever
AWOL.
can be cool if it is getting like the shit sent out of it. Like you could rock up in like your mum's Camry, but if you beat like a modified 86 on the downhill, which if they have a good driver can be quick, if you beat that and then the Camry, then I'll be like, yeah, look, the Camry's cooler than the 86.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
it's a driver car combination. Like if you come in and you throw
Yeah.
down like really, really, really hard, then that's way cooler than coming in a car that's fully built and doing like one skid. But that on the other end of that, if you have a car that is really fucked, like a UK spec E36, that's still never going to be cool. I don't care how hard you drive it. If you've got a UK E36,
There
if
is
you
a
keep
line
drumming it in,
that must
yeah.
not be crossed.
I
That's
love
it.
how it always comes back to E36s.
It's because they're so
Bruh.
shit in the UK.
Fuck off. Cunt.
I will send you some photos later, Sam, of UK E36s, and you'll be like, okay, no.
Just drop in
Yeah.
like Buxton's entire gallery.
Hey,
Buxton.
I'm putting an M44 into mine.
It is just banger racing, but with a little bit more smoke.
Yeah, a bit sideways.
non M spec BMWs, I just can't get behind it.
See, there are
I don't
some
know.
non-M specs that I like, and then there are some that I'm just hate with a passion.
See, the M spec E36s compared to just like the regular E36s, they're pretty much the exact same, apart from say the different engine and the different wheels. Like the exact same.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of the M car, isn't it? Is the engine, because BMW
Oh, yeah, but
did
if
this
I could-
thing where they make really good engines and they put them into really rubbish built cars. So the whole reason you buy it is for the engine.
Yeah, but see down here the M3 engine out of an E36 is worth like 10 grand. So
Oh yeah, I mean they're not cheap.
no.
So that's why you buy the car with it. Because if you buy just the engine, it's like, oh, well, great. I should have just bought
But-
the actual M.
It's crazy though, because like you look at E30 M3s for example, like say 5 years ago E36 sorry not E36 E30 M3s, they were like 5k a pop, easy, like they were like a dime a dozen, like that you could pick them up easily. Now like you look up an E30 M3 these days, it's like upwards of 20k.
Yeah. What? Since when were they cheap? I thought they were always expensive. They've always been a collector's item, haven't they?
Well, not always, because E30 M3 is like, oh, especially here, like around here, for example, they were pretty like, no one really got around them. But now, these days, like they're fucking going up in price. Like they're starting to become a collector's piece.
Oh, they're so expensive now. They're fucking as much as a Turbo Super or some shit now. They're so expensive.
Yeah.
Same with
Fucking mental.
E46s actually. E36s and E46s are still up there.
Yeah, like an M3 E36, you're looking at about 20k for around 20k for an E36 M3. But then you look at an E46 M3. I've seen fuck all of them around here, but they're fucking expensive as well.
E46
Yeah, they
is
were
like
P-plate legal.
36.
Wait,
The E36 M3 is P-plate legal.
No, last time I checked, they weren't.
The regular S50 is the one that's only got like the 3 liter, because that makes 210 kilowatts flat, and that's the legal limit. So they're P-plate legal, I think.
Because the last time I checked, the P-plate requirements was like 130 kilowatts per ton.
Oh, so is it
That's
not
right.
legal for your state then?
Nah, where are you? What's your state?
Queensland.
Ah,
Should be
okay, yeah.
legal
So
for us,
it's probably
that's
legal
why.
there. But down here, it's like
That's-
130 kilowatts per ton. So that's why my S14 just comes in under, because it's like 129 kilowatts per ton or something like that. It's like it's
Yeah.
just skimming by.
That rule's so shit. Like, it makes sense for turbo cars. I can't imagine having to do it for naturally aspirated cars. That's just awful.
Yeah, it's more of a base of like what they try and do is like power, like because what it used to be is like if you had, they used to say no turbos, no V8s. So if your car was like a freaking turboed four banger that made 50 horsepower, you still couldn't drive it because it was turboed. But now they've gotten a little bit more sense. Yeah, now they've gotten a little bit more sense. They're like, okay, yeah, your turbo makes 50 horsepower. All right, we'll let you drive it because it's under the power to weight. Oh, your car makes 147 kilowatts, but it weighs 1.2 ton. That comes in. Yeah, you can drive it.
Lit.
I am quite literally Googling and finding new photos of UK spec E36s doing E36 things. Honestly, I'm going to put them all in the chat in a minute, and you guys are going to be like, this is grim. I'm also going to... Oh, that's the perfect example with the rake.
You got to get Car Throttle's E36 for Max.
Jesus. He's getting so abused about that. He looks a little bit like him. And oh, it's so bad. Right, I feel like we're getting off topic, but then like there never was really a topic anyway. So
It's content.
Content. That's the topic.
You can't get off topic when you're a group of shit posters because all you do is shit post, so like it really doesn't matter.
You make quite a good point there, to be honest.
This is the pilot episode as well. This isn't meant to have any sort of direction.
Yeah, if you really wanted to, we could just look at like automotive news at the moment, but most of the stuff isn't happening right now because everyone's
Yeah, everyone's in quarantine.
Like Archer Field's closed. I'm sad. Skid Control's closed. All the track days have been cancelled. Like
Westside JDM got cancelled. Oh fucking Jesus Christ!
There you go. There's some.
Yo,
UK
those E36s are fucking mint.
No, they aren't. They're the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Wait, no. My mate owns an E36 328i wagon, and it is fucking mint. I wish I had a photo of it, but like,
disgusting, right?
I want an E36 wagon.
It's
pretty sure that's Callum brushing his teeth and not an E36.
have they not loaded for you? I've just put 8 photos.
Oh, there they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Bro.
I'm not uploading the one photo I have of an E36 on my computer.
For all you people who may not know what we're looking at, not SR20, fucking Jesus. The little SR that might, or could, however you want to say it, added like 8 photos of clapped out E36s that are doing glorious things in their natural habitat.
They are not doing glorious things.
E36s are just like UK spec AUs, aren't they?
They're just all rock boxes with like.
Yeah, I suppose that's a pretty good analogy for it, eh?
Oh, the AU is this is unpopular opinion. AU is the worst looking car I've ever fucking seen.
No, that's a very popular opinion. Everyone just ignores it because of how awesome they are.
They are not. I drove one, and I literally put my foot flat to the floor, and it's like, I don't think so.
What engine? What car has the Murray?
That's every 6-cylinder Australian car between like 1995 and 2004. They're just all you put your foot to the floor. It's like, yeah, maybe I might go.
Yeah, pretty much. It was trash.
Meanwhile, there's a whole page dedicated to like E-Series Falcons and shit.
Oh man,
so bad.
Actually, you know what that reminds me of? The 5-liter Holden V8. I don't know how a company can make an engine sound so good and so fast to get so slow.
Bruh,
bad.
The only Ford motor I can get around is probably the Barra. Like that thing is pretty fucking sick. 4-liter double overhead cam, fucking amazing.
We don't know what that is.
Excuse me, mate. Intech is better. Trust me. Single cam, all you need.
Nah, you gotta go the double cam.
Being from the world of Volvos,
they made DOHC Intex. Those exist. It's
really?
So whack.
They don't
it is
exist
so whack.
What's the Volvo?
You gotta tag me in something that has a double over cam intake, because then maybe.
I saw one like a couple of months ago pop up on Facebook.
Yeah, it's probably where I saw it too. But I saw it had like a blue rocker cover. I was like, "What is this?" And they went, "Hey, look, it's a DOHC Intech." I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
I'm back.
But nothing gets worse than the freaking 3.8 Ecotech.
Excuse me, you take that back.
I will
You're
not.
full of unpopular opinions tonight, mate, aren't you? What is this?
The Commodore
As a
V6
3.8
cannot.
Ecotech, I have not seen an engine put up with more harassment and still keep running. That thing.
Yeah,
We
Buick knew
started-
what they were doing with that one. I will admit, I don't
Yeah.
like all of the Holden fanboys be like, oh yeah, a Holden 5-liter. I don't care that it makes 190 kilowatts. It sounds so good. Oh, but I will give them credit. The Buick motor's fantastic.
Dude, the 3.8, you start that, you drive to the end of the street and you rip a skid, and you do that every day on cold oil, and it will still keep running.
But did you
Because
just say?
any Nissan motor, any Nissan whatsoever, you get rod knock after the third time.
No comment.
Yeah,
from
bro,
experience?
20 DT.
Did you just say 190 kilowatts?
No,
That is
190
what the
horsepower.
Holden 5-liter makes. It's
That's-
190 kilowatts. That is from a 5-liter V8. I don't know when it first got made, but they didn't discontinue it until the VT
2000.
Commodore, which was
Well, that
yeah,
whole
like
thing,
2000.
BMW
The
gifts
only-
because they're so
The only
smart.
reliable Holden ever made was the VL with the RB in it.
Yep.
Nah.
mean-
Ironically enough, the only reliable Holden had a Nissan motor.
Yep.
Oh, look, define reliable, because like I've seen lots of other Commodores just running but barely scraping along.
I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, BT1.
Gonna say
We're
the
spamming
Ford-
the chat with the E36s.
I'm
This is
surprised
weird.
no one's like mentioned the canary yellow.
please.
Um,
The sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, but I have to make this clear. The 5-liter V8 didn't make 190 kilowatts; it made 165.
Wow.
So
Whoa.
I know that's a bad power to rate ratio, but that makes more power than my SR, and my SR gets
Don't those
down.
things
Worse.
weigh like 2 ton?
They're just
Oh,
so
yeah,
bad.
no, like-
It's like, it's just old engine. It's like the EJ motor. It's like it was just used for so long for no reason until they eventually were like, yeah, fuck this. Let's just get a new engine from America.
But you know what's funny? I get this like so often is because people are like, yeah, fucking LS1s are so good. Yeah. When they first come to Australia, the LS1s kept blowing up because over in America, they used different oil grades than what we did because we used like a lot thicker of an oil grade and they just kept like clogging up and blowing up all the LSs until we finally started using thinner oils.
Synthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say what's it called? The 5-liter V8 that went into the Fords at the same time, that went into the AU, that one was the same. That one was like big engine, sounded nice, but made 185 kilowatts. The difference with that is that they actually upgraded it. So every year, you can literally see in the series 1, 2, and 3 of the AU, every series, it got a little bit more power out of the 5-liter V8, whereas Holden just went, no, we're not getting anything else out of this. I think they managed to get it to nearly 190, and then they were like, nah, that's it. We'll give up. We're just, all right, thanks, GM. New 5.7 liter, cheers. And then they did the TE50 and the TS50. They're so sick. I love them. And they've got the they stroked the Windsor to 5.6 liters and got 250 kilowatts out of it, and it sounds
Jesus.
immaculate.
I
is
got to
fantastic.
drive on my owls. I got to drive my mate's BA XR8. I can't remember which one it was.
oh,
That thing went pretty good because we stopped at the light and he's like, all right, because he's like, all right, you ever done a skin of V8 before? I'm like, nah, and he goes, all right, when the light goes green, I want you to just floor it. Done that, and I'm like, fuck yeah, and took off. It was pretty good. Then I went for a ride in my mate's BA XR6 Turbo the other day because like at work he's got one, and that thing boogies. That thing goes.
might I just add, fuck you, Tracy Grimslut.
Where the fuck?
Jesus.
All right, bet. Thanks for that.
That was needed. If you
Yeah,
don't know,
we're
Tom,
going on a current affair.
yeah,
So I
Should-
think
it'll come for you guys.
I think we've got to the point now where it's not that we're going off topic because we're shitposters, but we're an hour and 20 in. No one else is going to want to listen to any more of this. If you've made it this far, well done to all of our one listeners, which will be ourselves. Yeah,
It's probably a good place to wrap it
it
up.
I
is
just wanna
probably a
say-
good place. Yeah.
This has been fucking awesome. Like the way we've all been talking to it, this has been fucking mint.
It
Yeah,
has
we could
been
probably
quite
do this
funny.
again without having to make it a podcast, because at the beginning it was quite forced, and now it's just become much more natural. which
So
is great,
fluid.
So.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's-
Plus,
You
So,
lot
like,
don't
what you
know
say?
who I am, so.
What
Oh
you're saying
yeah,
is-
Max, please introduce yourself at the
No.
end of the podcast.
His name shall still become. Oh, I fucked that up. Look, I'm 5
So
beers
bad.
deep.
Oh my god, somebody just close it already, for God's
Alright.
sake.
Max, tell us who you are and wrap it all up for us, please.
I have 2 cooked Sylvias.
Short but sweet. I love it.
Yeah, that's as better a place to end it as any.
Fantastic.
Oh.
Well, to all 3 people that are left, thank you for listening. This has been the Shitposters podcast. Please like, comment, subscribe, send us nudes, follow, don't care, don't know,
Or
whatever media
noodles, I
platform.
don't mind.
Send us
Send us
noodles.
noodles.
for us. So
It's-
like, just cheers for watching because we're just shit talking together anyway.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Mothra
Bye.
Wag.
Catch us.